Kitchen Lindy. I am doing a recipe on ginger chicken. I actually shared this a few weeks ago, just that I had done it for dinner, and I roughly typed up the recipe, but I just wanted to show everybody because there was a few people that were asking about it. So the first thing that I needed to do was I took 2 chicken breasts and I cleaned it, cut off any excess fat, and cubed it up. So I'm just going to sprinkle this with some garlic powder and pepper. You don't even need to really season these because you're going to be topping this with the sauce after it bakes for a bit. So you don't necessarily need to season it, but I just always throw my garlic powder and pepper on them. So I am going to put this in the oven at 350, and these are going to bake for roughly 20 minutes. Just until they're cooked, and then we're going to top it with the sauce. So these I'm going to throw in the oven. So again, 350 for 20 minutes. And then we're going to make the sauce. So the first thing that you're going to do, and you're going to boil this sauce in a pot and then add it to the chicken after, and then you'll throw it back in the oven to just kind of go almost like a sugar it turns into. So the first thing you're going to add is a cup of chicken stock. I have the 30% less sodium chicken stock, so 1 cup of that. And then you're going to add in 3/4 of a cup of the low sodium soy sauce. So I have the No Name. Any brand can be used. So 3/4 of a cup. And if anybody is in the GTA and has eaten at Oshawa Thai, this is the closest that I've been able to get to their crispy ginger chicken. It's almost like a molasses taste, and this is the closest I've been able to get to for that recipe. So this is really close, and it's not breaded, so it's a lot less points. The next thing you're going to add is 1/3 of a cup of honey. And I was actually shocked when I first made this because I had no idea. I thought it was molasses, the crispy ginger chicken that Oshawa Thai makes. But as soon as I made this, I realized that it's not molasses. It's just soy sauce and honey. Okay, so it's 1/3 of a cup of the honey. And I have chopped up 2 garlic cloves. So you're gonna add that. So just finely chop the garlic cloves. And then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of ginger powder. So that was 2 teaspoons of the ginger powder. And 1/8 of a cup of Splenda brown sugar. If you're using just regular brown sugar, that's fine as well. You just got to make sure that you're checking your points after for this. So I'm adding 1/8 of a cup of Splenda brown sugar. And now I don't like too much spice, so I'm just adding a couple drops of hot sauce. just to kind of give it a bit of a heat. But if you like it spicy, you can add more. It's totally up to you. And then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. Okay, and you're gonna give this a good mix. I'm gonna mix it with my whisk. And your honey will be really thick on the bottom, so just be careful because it will splash. So now you're just gonna heat this on the over the heat just until it gets warm. And then once that's done, we're gonna add some cornstarch. So I have the chicken right now in the oven. So that's baking for 20 minutes. And then I'm just gonna put this on the stove and let it get warm. And I'll be back once it starts, just before it gets to a boil, and I'll show you what we do next. Hey everyone, I'm back. So the chicken has cooked for 20 minutes now. So I've just taken it out. It has cooked. So it's within its own juices, so which is fine. I'm going to be adding the sauce to it as well. So the sauce has just come to a slight boil. Just cook it on low while your chicken is cooking. And it's still a liquid form. So now what you want to do, in a measuring cup, you want to take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then you're going to add some water to this so that it'll make a slurry. So just enough to top it. And then you'll be able to just stir it, and it goes like into a liquid, and this is a slurry that will instantly thicken this sauce. Like, I was shocked at how thick it thickened, or how fast it thickened it. So that was just 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and some water just to top onto it. You can add the water just as small amounts as you want and start stirring, but you want it to be a liquid form. So I'm just going to now add this into the sauce, and I've just been whisking it as I've been making it. And I'm just going to whisk that up. And keep your heat on low, and it will just start getting more like, almost like a syrupy texture. It thickens really, really fast. And then once this thickens to the consistency that you want it, you're just going to pour this over the chicken. And what I like to do is just top it with some sesame seeds. And those sesame seeds, just keep on top. You don't have to mix them in. And then I'm going to throw this back in the oven for roughly 10 to 15 minutes, just so it kind of thickens more of a sauce. You don't have to put all of this sauce on it because it is a lot of sauce. I only had 2 chicken breasts that I cut up there, so I did find the last time I made this, it was a lot of sauce that was left over. So this is still kind of a liquid form, so I'm just going to let it heat for a little bit more just to thicken a bit. And probably, I'd say only within a couple minutes it should take that will thicken up. So I will show you once the sauce thickens and let you know how long that took as well. All right, I'm back. So I've let this sauce simmer for about 5 minutes now. So it's just thickened up a bit. And what I'm gonna do, because it was a lot of sauce that was added the last time, so I'm just gonna top my chicken with this. Let me just push it down so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got my chicken, and what I'm just gonna do is top it with 2 cups of this sauce. So it's about half of the sauce that I have in this pan. So now when I pointed this out, I used all of the sauce the last time. So my points are kind of off with this because I'm not using all of the sauce. But when I pointed out the last time, for 4 servings of this, it was 7 points. So I'm using half of the sauce, so I'd have to re-point it out to see. I'm gonna say roughly 5 points per serving if you're getting 4 servings out of this, just because you've got your honey and your brown sugar and whatnot in it. So this is now topped, and I'm just going to just give a sprinkling of sesame seeds on top, just over all of it. And then you're going to pop this back in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. So just on top. And it's really thickening the sauce a bit more onto the chicken. So 10 to 15 minutes depending on how thick you want that sauce on there. And I'll be back and I'll let you know how long I kept it in there as well. And I'll show you what it looks like for the final product. Okay, we're back. So the chicken has baked for another 15 minutes. So the sauce has really thickened on it. And like I said, the last time I pointed this out, it was 7 points per serving if you got 4 servings out of this, but that was for all of the sauce. So I only used half of the sauce on this. So I'm gonna say roughly 5 points, but I'm gonna do my recipe in the calculator so that I can give an exact number, and I will put the points in the description below if it is any different than 5 points. So, but 4 servings out of this, if you use all of the sauce, will be 7 points, and it does thicken quite a bit. And I'm pairing this with some steamed asparagus and also some cauliflower rice, which I will be posting a recipe for the cauliflower rice as well in the next couple days. If you wanted to, you can use this extra sauce over top of your cauliflower rice as well instead of soy sauce. That's another option as well. So all in all, it's a very easy recipe. There are a lot of components that go into it, but it's so simple. It only takes a couple minutes to actually mix up the sauce, and it's literally all just baking in the oven, so you really can just pop it in and leave it and go. So it's really simple of a recipe, and I compare it to, if anybody has tried Oshawa Thai, they have a crispy ginger chicken, so the taste of this is very, very similar. So I'm really liking this because Oshawa Thai's crispy ginger chicken is my favorite, and I'm sure it's very, very high. So anyways, I hope you guys like this recipe. Give me a thumbs up if you do. Please subscribe if you haven't. As always, my handles are at the bottom, Stitch and Lindy on Connect, and my Facebook group is Stitch and Lindy's Weight Loss Journey. Thanks for watching.